we've got a few more fan questions about Ole. We'll try and get through them all, quite frankly, because you've got to talk about Ole. You know, he's a big star. We can't shortchange him on the time. Very quickly before we talk about Ole as the fan questions, I've got to mention a couple of quotes that he said. And keep in mind, this is a guy who was claiming an IQ of 170-something. He didn't see anything of value in Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Mm-hmm. He didn't see anything special about Randy Savage, for heavens to Murgatroyd. Hulk Hogan was nothing special. He was just a big body guy who sold dolls. And, quote here, I called him Sterling Golden, and he wasn't worth shit. He also thought that Ric Flair as a wrestler was merely okay. Mm-hmm. And this is Ric Flair, for Christ's sake. Anyway. And also, Ole claimed that he had to get rid of Flair from Georgia because he was killing the Georgia territory. And that's why he voted for Ric Flair to get the NWA World title, to get rid of him out of Georgia. It's like, is he just making this crap up? He's basically saying, like, 4 of the greatest, in various different ways, wrestlers in the history of wrestling are all terrible in one way or another.
Professional jealousy again. Because if he got him in there and they drew some money, then they would have power in talking to Barnett, because they have drawing power. Therefore they have worth. They have substance. So if they ever got Jim Barnett alone and presented him with an option, then Jim had somewhere to go. And Ole would say, well, I'm working against myself if I really get him over. And yeah, I got to agree with, Hulk Hogan. He needed the Vince to get him over. He needed that machine to get him over. And I don't know if Georgia had that machine to get Hogan over like he got in New York. I don't know that.
Well, AWA, he was getting himself. I mean, WWF just imported the Hulk Hogan character as we know it or knew it in the 80s from the AWA. So it was ultimately Vern Gagne, or in his territory, that the Hogan character was born in that sense. And then Vince just saw.
Well, he just stole it. Then he just. If you see something like that, you got to use it, because he was so different. Steamboat was too, except Steamboat needs more time. Savage, more the same. He just needs more time and a hot baby face to work with and a hot angle. And who was the last one you mentioned?
Ric Flair was merely okay in the ring, and he was quote unquote like killing Georgia business. But here's the thing: I think they were running 2 separate cards on the same night, maybe, or maybe they were alternating the main event. And when Gene and Ole were on the main event, the arenas would be a quarter or half full. When Ric Flair was in that arena, baby, that place was sold out. And I think, as you alluded to before, professional jealousy.
Yes, because he didn't want that around. It's the only thing I can say. But Flair and Ole did not like each other, period.
Why?
They just didn't. Because Flair is Ole is jealous of another talent that was his spot. Being the top heel, that was his spot. And Flair comes in. He's also flamboyant. And they've teamed up and done a few things. And probably the best thing that Ole did was induct Arn and make him an Anderson. They inducted Arn to do the work. Because and Arn looks like him anyway. So that was actually a good fit, a good match. But you run into this all the time. Professional jealousy, and some guy will not have, if he's a booker, he don't want to have another guy to come in and get over to his degree, because that gives the promoter or the owner, unless the booker is the owner, that gives the owner an option that he could just switch to this guy and not miss the booker at all. So that's the only thing I can attribute that to.